let's get to you some other stories we're following for you today. Some telecom firms have started applying new charges on cost of call and data services for subscribers. A decision by telcos to adjust their tariffs was expected to have kick-started on the 1st of November. So what it means now is that if you make a call on the networks you're going to be telling you about, or you do stuff with data, you're going to realize an increase in the charges. Joining me in studio to discuss all of this is Joy Business Assistant Editor Norman Akwa-Hayford. So let's first start with why there are tariff adjustments.
Okay, so the reason is that in the mid-year budget review, the government decided to separate Get Fund and NHIS from the original VAT, which was 17.5. Remember that the percentages for the NHIL and Get Fund was 2.5 each, which brings it to 5%. And separating that from the original 17.5 brought VAT now to 12.5. Some people celebrated. They felt that, look.
And I remember there was a lot of confusion about it because people were trying to figure out what the calculations were, you know, because people were saying it was the same thing repackaged into something else, and others were just didn't know how this was going to turn out.
Yeah, because at the time, in the face of it, it looks as if, okay, you have some kind of, you know, separation. So when you're going to pay VAT, it's going to be less than that. But we're forgetting that 5%, which they're going to get the government, the companies to be paying, could be passed on to the customers. And that is what we have seen with the implementation of this becoming a straight levy, no more part of the ad valorem basket, if I'll put it. So then it means that now these companies, we know of what the manufacturers have done. We know of what other sectors of the economy have done. But here we are on the telecom sector. They issue a letter from their chamber indicating that we are going to pass on the 5% to the customers. Today, I mean, it was supposed to have taken effect. That was yesterday. Yes. Which was on the 1st.
Okay. And before we go on to that, I just want you to understand, for the benefit of people watching, what the new adjustments, I mean, I talk about the new charges introduced by government. What kind of relationship has it got to do with the telecoms industry? Somebody may be wondering. The decision to create new taxes, that is the NHIL and the Get Fund levies, to separate it from what we initially knew as VAT. What kind of correlation did it have with the telecoms industry?
Okay, so what it means is that, remember that if you paid VAT on purchases and everything that you did, especially with the companies, the system was such that they could go back and claim the costs, you know, after sales and all the things that have been done.
Yeah.
But now, if it's made a straight levy, it is like the company is supposed to now be the person that should bear the cost. But remember that no company looking at the current, you know, costs implications will want to add on, especially when we talk of the fact that, yes, there's a lot of taxes in the system. So if I cannot claim, what do? I pass it on to the customer.
So by how much have the tariffs gone up?
It's by the 5%, which constitute this two taxes or levies that were taken out of the VAT, which is the Get Fund and the NHIS. Remember, I mean, it's very clear. Most of them said, look, fine, if you insist that's what you want to do, the customer should be willing to pay more. And that was one of the arguments that came up at the time, telling people that, look, you are going to be paying more for whatever services that we are rendering already to you. And that is what we are seeing. The impact of it is what we are seeing with the implementation of this particular law.
Okay, so you mentioned that it was supposed to have started on the 1st of November.
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday, and we didn't hear anything. In fact, you reported, Joy Business, if you recall, that it had been delayed for some reasons. And so help us understand what the challenge was initially with starting this and where we are at now.
Okay, so the National Communications Authority did give certain directives as to how the telecom companies should go about it. And I think that was even communicated in their press release. Most of us probably didn't give, you know, ear to those fine details that were there. One of the first requirements was you needed, as a telecom company, to publish and notify your customers that, okay, this is going to take effect. Then you can go ahead and do the charging. But as of yesterday first, none of them had done that. In the morning, I mean, when we had come and we were going ahead with news, none of them had done that, which meant that you could not see that happen. And then later on in the day, we found out that one of them then published on its website In fact, it was not supposed to even be just only on your website. You were supposed to also publish probably the dailies, or make sure you send what they do usually, bulk text messages to all their customers. So we later found out that one of them had published on their website indicating the changes, and you needed to indicate the old charges as against what the new ones will be, so that people don't feel you are overcharging them. So you can undercharge, but you don't go above that 5% if you want to implement the system.
Yeah, and
or the tax.
It seemed as if it was a wait and see game going on to see which of the telcos was going to increase their tariffs first. But I guess let's move on to what everybody has been waiting to hear. Which telco has increased its charges as of now?
Okay, as we speak, 2 of them have notified, which means that Airtel Tigo, who were the first to have published on their website yesterday, indicated as to how much. So when you go to the website of Airtel Tigo,
okay, so can we take a look at that? What the initial charges were and what they're charging now?
Okay, so there are 3 areas when you have a mobile phone. You're talking of voice rates, you're talking of data, and then you're talking of SMS. So let's categorize them into 3. Now let's start with the voice rate. Now if you go to Airtel Tigo and you check on their website, they indicated clearly, so we wish to inform our esteemed customers of our new tariffs, which takes effect from 2nd of November, which is today. So if you are an Airtel Tigo person, that is what is happening. And if you look at the rates, they have different plans under the voice band or voice rates. They have what they call the talk and browse SAR, and then they have what the Casa SAR, Legacy, Chow Chow, and Double Value. Now, if you look at the old rates, now they were charging 10.2 pesos per minute when you call within Airtel Tigo, which means Airtel Tigo to Airtel Tigo, and that is on the Talk SAR platform. Okay. So, and if you look at the new rate, that has not even changed, and the same price was what you were charging if you called outside that network. Now you look at the Casa SAR plan, there's a bit of change over there. Initially, within Airtel or Airtel to Airtel calls, it was 15 pesos. Airtel to other networks was also 15 pesos. But today, what they are charging, the new rate is 16.8 pesos. That is for both, whether within or outside the network. That's how much they are charging. So clearly, you see an increment of 1.8 pesos.
You can see that on your screens. And we know that MTN has also started sending out messages to its customers about an increase in tariffs. What does the text message say?
Okay, so
no one is going to try to get that for you, but
quickly.
In your shots there, you're seeing what Airtel Tigo is charging now compared to the previous rates.
I'm sure that if you're an MTN customer, if you haven't received it, you will receive it, I suppose, because I got mine just around 4 o'clock today. And it reads, "Dear valued customer, effective 2nd November 2018, your SMS, voice, and IDD tariffs will be reviewed upwards by 5%. Please visit MTN website," and they've given you a link to the website for the new rates and details. Thank you. Coming from MTN. But what is interesting is that when you go to the MTN website, we're expecting to see what was the old rate and what is the new rate.
That we don't see on the MTN website.
That you don't see on the MTN website.
This minute. I don't know what's going to happen subsequently.
So what they are telling us, what MTN is saying is that the current rate that is there is the old rate. Vodafone have not done that yet. Glow have not done that yet. We wait to see what they will.
Definitely wait to see. And there's a conversation about what this means for competition in the telecoms industry and what other alternatives we have when it comes to making calls and reaching out to people. But what it is right now is that Airtel and MTN, Airtel Tigo, make no mistake, and MTN have increased their charges. We'll have more on that subsequently. Thanks very much indeed, Novan Aqua Hayford. He is Joy Business Assistant Editor. You're watching Business Live. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Business Live. Let's update you on some other stories tonight. Gold dealership firm Men's Gold has finally created an online trading platform for its transactions. According to the firm, this is to help migrate clients who are having problems trading with its gold collectibles because of regulatory restrictions and ongoing legal tussle. But is Men's Gold not violating current directives from the Securities and Exchange Commission? There's more in the following report.
Already, the firm has created the Men's Gold Global Market online app that would allow clients to trade online. According to Men's Gold, it would allow its clients to trade in its gold collectibles, irrespective of the allocation. The gold dealership firm last month announced they will be migrating its gold collectible clients onto the online trading platform, while it's prepared to pay off the principal for those that want to exit. However, here is the problem. Currently, under the securities law, any financial investment, irrespective of the platform it's trading, as long as it accepts funds from the public and in returns pays out dividend, then that should be regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, but officials of Men's Gold insist it does not come under the capital market regulator. But sources close to the Securities and Exchange Commission say they are seeking some legal advice on the next line of action on this development. In a separate development, owner of gold dealership firm Men's Gold, Nanapia Mensah, is assuring clients that the business is not going anywhere but is here to stay. This was captured on his personal page on picture sharing social site Instagram. The Men's Gold owner's response follows comments by Deputy Finance Minister Charles Edubuahin that the firm is going down following the recent regulatory actions. But Mr. Appiah insists Men's Gold is not a financial institution, but a vibrant, promising African brand and a law-abiding institution. But this post was met with mixed reactions as some of his clients were asking for the payment of their investments rather.
The Ghana Railway Company Limited has disclosed that it has earmarked about 1.5 million cedis to refurbish old and abandoned locomotives. According to the Chief Executive, John Esel, the move is part of government's agenda to revamp the sector with local expertise. He made the disclosure when Minister for Railway Development, Joe Garte, led a delegation to the Tema railway station to inspect the refurbished locomotives.
Decision by government to refurbish the abandoned trains is in order to reduce the cost for redevelopment of the railway sector. According to the Ghana Railway Company, about 10 locomotives have been refurbished so far within its budget. The coaches are expected to serve the Western Rail Line and some portions of the Eastern Line, which begins from Tema to Akosombo. John Esel is Chief Executive of the Ghana Railway Company.
We've realized that we need to buy some other additional items. So the procurement process is ongoing, and until we finish it, we'll not be able to say how much we spent, say, per coach, until we finish the entire procurement process. But so far, we spent less than 1 million on the 15 coaches.
How much have you budgeted for the entire project?
Well, seriously speaking, we budgeted 1.5 million, and then we bought materials less than 1 million. So at least we still have some money that we can play around. You know, as we're going to bring on board these other people, the master craftsmen from magazine, you know, they are not on our payroll. So naturally, the cost per coach will go up. So we'll be able to cater.
Minister for Railway Development, Joe Garte, disclosed that government has decided to use the artisans at Swami Magazine in the Ashanti region to lead in the project in order to create employment for locals.
But today we've come here with master artisans from Swami Magazine who have expressed interest in cooperating with the railway company for the purpose of rehabilitating the vans and the wagons, and from there, the coaches, and from there looking at even whether they can be involved in rehabilitating some of the locomotives. Now, this is the first phase. We're not going to limit it to Swami Magazine. We want to grow a local indigenous railway industry. We want to come to a situation where not too long from now we'll be able to assemble coaches, at least in Ghana. I mean, if you import the wagons and you have the shell, you should be able to assemble the coaches in Ghana. So we've challenged them. We are happy. The response of the master artisans we brought from Swami is very encouraging. They have said that they have no problem, they can do it. They are inside, the coaches now taking pictures, they are doing an assessment. They will come and do a more detailed assessment, and then they will sit with the Ghana Railway Company Limited and come to some form of arrangement in terms of payment and everything like that.
On the development of the Eastern Line from Tema to Akosombo, the minister expressed confidence that the engineers will meet the target. Ibn Sabote's report for Joy Business.
Now, the third edition of the Joy Prime Made in Ghana Fair is underway at the Junction Mall at Nungua Barrier here in Accra, and already experts are promising up to 10% discounts on items. My colleague Charles Aite was there earlier and reports. These are just little exhibitions that are amongst many other innovations and beautiful products that are in here, as you know, just for yourselves and for your family, if you just want to pass by to make yourself the best deals and the best sales in everything made in Ghana. We shall be speaking to the exhibitors ahead of the entire launch to get for them what exactly this means to them and their prospects moving forward.
And we are here to show Ghana what we have. We have beautiful clothes uniquely made, and they are here. We are here to show you what we have. We are offering 10% off the price of everything you buy here, and we're also giving away free tote bags here. So when you purchase one, they give you a free tote bag.
And the name of the company is Homida Kente and Adinkwa Palace. And the reason why we are here is to exhibit what we have. That is, we are into Kente, and it's hand-woven thing. That's the reason why we came here.
As the name goes, Made in Ghana Fair, our product is proudly made in Ghana. We were here last year, and it was good. We had all the sales. We got the opportunity to interact with other people from other sectors, which boosts our sales, and production also went high. So we realized that this year it would be very good to come back on board again.
From Weave Ghana Limited, and we are participating in the Made in Ghana Fair. We have these goods. We have Foloso, which is a weave. We do it here, that's in Ghana at Spintex. And we have Foloso, which is a synthetic hair that you can use you can fix it on. You can use two, and actually it goes for a less price. Yes, because we are projecting Made in Ghana goods, and these are made in Ghana. We do them ourselves at the factory. We fix them. We do everything ourselves, and we pack them. Yeah.
To me, I think it's our time we try to lift the Ghana product up. We try to bring that rather than pushing the foreign things into our country. So this properly made in Ghana. We did it by our own self. We did everything is done here. Everything that you see here is done made in Ghana. So we decided to be part of the festival. We can push the products so that Ghanaians will see what we have. We also have, and the foreigners will see that Ghanaians also can have something to do. It's not every day that we'll be buying their things.
Yeah, the Made in Ghana Fair is that, for some time now, people have notion that Ghanaians, we don't produce quality product. That is the reason why we want to associate ourselves with Joy Prime Made in Ghana Fair to actually exhibit what we have. Capital O2 has been in existence close to 30 years, and trust me, if it's on a quality product, I don't think by now we'll still be in existence. Close to 30 years, we are trying and tested. That's the reason why we have associated ourselves, for the public to know that indeed Ghanaians.
Exhibitors, it's going to be a very interesting one. We're talking of massive discounts, we're talking of interesting deals, we're talking of just mouth-watering deals that you just may want to just be a part of, especially when it kickstarts today officially, and of course runs through the weekend. So just come along with your family and friends and just enjoy yourselves with the best deals here at the Junction Mall, where the Made in Ghana Fair is currently underway. I'm Charles Ayeta reporting for Joy Business. And well, as Charles said, this is a great way to spend your weekend. You want to make it to the Junction Mall for the Joy Prime Made in Ghana Fair. And finally, your thought leadership show, Executive Lounge, will be hosting CEO of multinational firm Activa Insurance, that is Solomon Latte. Host Insurado will be speaking to him about building multinational firms. Here's an excerpt of what to expect.
You should have systems, because the culture of the firm or the organization would evolve around the kind of systems you have. If you don't have systems and systematic ways of doing things, and you do things in an ad hoc way, you won't have a proper. It means your culture is ad hoc, so you can't do things right. So the first thing we do is to have effective systems. Of course, we also have very strong corporate governance principles that we stick to. Of course, if it's an international organization, there's a group structure, you have to stick to corporate governance. So those are the main things. Then beyond that, bring it down, we use systems. You have a staff manual, underwriting manual, reinsurance guidelines. There are guidelines to do everything, and then people will have to go through that. So I would say it's systems that we use to manage those things. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you can have a vision, you can have a good policy or product. You won't be able to bring it out because your people cannot follow you. And so the thing that kills companies, first of all, if you don't have a good corporate governance principle, you would go down. If you don't have systems and the right kind of leadership. The MD can be the best in the world. If the midfield is not good, forget it. And then the defense. If you have claims people who are forging claims and condoning and conniving with people, then you will have leakages. So it's a whole structure.
All right, so watch the full episode of The Best Minds on the Executive Lounge this Saturday at 6 p.m. on the JoyNews channel on Multi TV and channel 421 on DSTV with a repeat broadcast on Sunday at 8 p.m. For more news, log on to our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We've got the day's business stories. You can read more about the 20 banks that have met the minimum capital requirement. That'll be it for tonight. My name is Darrell Kwao. Thanks for watching. See you next time.